Good evening, everyone. I am so sorry I could not be there with you on such a beautiful Arizona night. I had every intention of seeing you in person, but there were votes on two massive spending bills that I needed to fight against. I stayed in Washington to fight for you and to fight for rural Arizona and to bring this country back to greatness. I will, however, be there in time for the rodeo festivities and parade tomorrow and look forward to seeing you there. As I'm sure you are all aware, it has been a very busy week in Washington. We started the week with the Supreme Court upholding a key provision of SB1070, only to have President Obama and his Homeland Security Secretary, our former governor, retaliate by refusing to enforce our nation's immigration laws. After losing in the court, the President and Janet Napolitano continued its war on Arizona by rescinding memos of understanding between our local police agencies and federal authorities, which greatly hinders the ability of our local communities to protect their citizens. I will not stand by for this kind of retaliatory measure by the President and his administration. I, along with my colleagues, Representative Franks, Quayle, and Schweikert, will continue to put the pressure on the administration to enforce our laws and not subvert them. I said earlier in the week that Obama had declared war against Arizona. What he does not know is that if you pick a fight with us, you may start the war, but we will finish it. That is the Arizona way. 3 days later, the Supreme Court made its decision regarding the ObamaCare tax. This law is the greatest assault on freedom in generations. Funny how the President and the Democrats all said, this isn't a tax, in order to fool some of them, the Americans. Well, the court told us what so many of us have been saying. It's a big tax to support a big power grab by the federal government. Like I said earlier, if it walks and talks like a tax, you don't need a judge to tell you it is a tax. Just look into your empty wallet. Keep in mind also that the power to tax is the power to destroy. Taxes can destroy this country, and this law is proof that Obamacare is the single largest tax increase in the history of our nation. $500 billion disappears from Medicare, and $525 billion in new taxes. And maybe most important, government will now stand between you and your doctor. On that note, however, I am disappointed that the court essentially rewrote this law. It demonstrates how important this fall's election will be, since the next president will get to nominate 2 or 3 new justices in all likelihood. I will not stop fighting for your rights. I will not stop working with House leadership to overturn this job-killing legislation. In fact, the House has already scheduled a vote for next week to fully repeal Obamacare. This will be my 29th vote to repeal or defund Obamacare. With the Supreme Court's decision, we now know that we have to come together and elect Governor Romney and a Republican Senate so that we can reverse this devastating effects of this job-killing legislation. On better news, I am proud to say that the Republicans and Democrats in the House of Representatives banded together to vote to hold Attorney General Eric Holder in contempt of Congress for his refusal to turn over documents regarding the Operation Fast and Furious and the possible cover-up by the Obama administration. This was the first time that the highest lawman in the country has been held in contempt. But my fellow Arizonans, this is much more than politics. Brian Terry, a Border Patrol agent in southern Arizona, lost his life, and 2 weapons sold under Fast and Furious program were found at that scene. Holder and other Justice Department officials have not answered serious questions, taken responsibility, or provided documents that shed light on that program. I am here to make sure that the Terry family and all Americans get the answers they deserve. I will do everything in my power, but we need to help our Republican sisters and brothers, indeed all Americans who love this country, so we can return the United States on a path to prosperity. As we celebrate our nation's independence, I would just remind you that our nation was founded on fighting tyranny. Standing up for what is right is in our DNA. We have shed too much blood on foreign soil in defense of liberty to stand by and watch our freedoms at home deteriorate. I am proud to be part of the freshman class of '87, Republican freshmen who were elected in 2010 to help take back our country, back and helping us return to where we can pursue the American dream. But to do so, we need to get our fiscal house in order by cutting spending and reducing our debt. We need to get our economy going, not raising taxes or bailing out Wall Street. We need to get the government out of the way of small businesses and get government out of our lives and out of our healthcare decisions, because nobody should get between a patient and their doctor. I hope you will join me in this fight. If you would like to get involved or volunteer, please visit my website at www.gosarforcongress.com. I look forward to seeing many of you tomorrow at the rodeo festivities. I would also like to invite you to an ice cream social tomorrow after the parade around 11 a.m. at 146 North Mount Vernon. Again, thank you, and God bless the United States of America.